Okay, 3, 2, 1. We're on the air, Wib.
All
Basically,
right.
I'm up here with Dr. Wibben, former basketball player at Kings Park High School.
Fake doctor.
Very, very versatile basketball player at Kings Park High School. He's the guy we were just talking about. He grew late, and so he can handle. And so how tall are you really, Wib? 6'4.5" or?
I'll say 6'4.5", 6'5" on a really good day. You know.
And Wib is also a lifelong golf aficionado. His brother's in the golfing industry, and so the family has always been big into golf. And I know Wib is a golf fanatic. He follows it, and so thanks for coming on today, Wib.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm pumped. Masters Week is probably one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's just as a huge golf fan, it's the best. There's nothing more.
What do you got on your shirt there?
This is the man, Tiger.
Oh yes.
This was when he won 2 years ago. I had to support, buy the shirt.
Sure.
Sucks he's not gonna be here this year.
Yeah, I tell you, it does take some eyeballs off the TV set. I'll be watching, but I'll be wishing he was there, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the Masters is always amazing, but it's not the same without Tiger. When he's in the field, it's there's just like a different kind of buzz.
Well, I'm praying he gets that Ben Hogan bug and makes that comeback, like Ben Hogan did when he got hurt. I'm hoping.
I mean, I don't know how many lives he's got left. Here right. He has come back 2 years ago, so
sure.
Well, it's weird because they're not really. They're kind of keeping the whole report secret. There's not a lot of information coming out, so who knows how serious the injuries really are. And I hope he comes back.
If anybody can do it, it'll be Tiger.
Yeah, I have no doubts.
And so, like for me, like I'm glad they're kind of keeping it private. I feel like the media is a little rough on these people. These people have lives and they have families, and like it should be between Tiger and his doctor, and the rest of us can wait till later. I feel bad for these people. This man has children and he has, family, and it's just, he's still a human being at the end of the day, and people are just so rough. It's like, people on the radio demanding to know answers. I'm like, you don't have the right to know what Tiger's doing.
100%. Yeah. It's interesting when you get to be that, that prolific in a sport, that legendary, people forget you're human, like a Michael Jordan, they don't look at the human, they look at the athlete.
Yep.
And, it's sad. I mean, he's gone through so much, and now he's really focusing on family and raising his kids now, and that's his main priority. So,
good.
I agree. I kind of like that they're not blowing it up.
Yeah, I want it to stay private for his sake. I don't have the right to know. Let them handle that.
Yeah.
But I am going to miss him this weekend. I would I always took a peek where he was on the leaderboard.
Yeah, he definitely. He's so good for the game of golf because he brings eyes in that normally aren't watching. So it's gonna.
I have to say, he got me watching. I never really growing up was a watcher of the event. But what happened was I had a golf family across the street from me, and they started to get me to watch it. And I guess my only real big memory of golf before really starting to watch Tiger was the Shark Greg Norman blowing that big lead.
Oh yeah.
In 1996, I want to say. I was living in South Carolina at the time.
He's known for blowing leads.
Yep, and then I also remember '86 because I was a senior in high school and Jack Nicklaus hitting that crazy putt.
Yep,
I'll never forget that. But those are probably the two biggest memories. But then since Tiger came on, I started watching, and I don't really. I guess I have my favorites here and there, but it's amazing how quickly guys' careers can go up and then how quickly, just as quickly, they go down again.
Yeah,
a guy like Vijay Singh, like he was unbelievable for a couple of years there, and then boom, like you bottom out and you just don't hear about him anymore. So
that's the crazy thing about golf is, I mean, you can be amazing for 1 week, yep, but to be amazing for 10 years is just it's so difficult. And that's what makes what Tiger did so amazing is because he was so consistent and so dominant for so long, where most guys, like you said, they're up and then they're down and they're up and they're down, but he was at the top of his game for so long. It is amazing.
It's amazing. Consistency is the mark of greatness, I always say to people, but
yeah,
I think we all take consistency for granted. But getting back to today's golf, what happened with this DeChambeau rule at the Players tournament here? This guy, I guess, is the longest hitter in the game today. But
yeah,
when they're making rules based on you, it shows you how good you are.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of DeChambeau, you know,
Okay.
especially as a gym rat. So,
Sure.
you know, seeing a golfer who's hitting the weights and getting bulked up, I love it. And I love hitting bombs in golf. I'm actually
Sure.
thinking about doing long drives, so
Sure.
I'm all for it. You know, a lot of the golf hardos don't really like it. They think he's kind of ruining the game, but I think it I think it's fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
he brings, you know, watching him play is so exciting. You don't know what he's going to do next. I mean, it's crazy. And watching him practice, he's swinging as hard as he can. It's like he looks like a madman on the driving range. It's like, what is this guy doing? But yeah, as far as the ruling goes, I looked into it a little bit, and the tour said that they did it for safety reasons. They said they made the OB rule so that he wouldn't hit any spectators.
Okay.
But I'm calling BS. I
Yeah.
think Bryson told them his plan, you know, before the tournament started. So I think they didn't want him to have that advantage, and they used that as an excuse and made the OB. But I'm kind of bummed because that would have been really cool to see. I don't know if you know that hole at the Players,
No.
but it's a huge dog leg left, and it's all water, and it's a really tough tee shot. It's the last hole, so you got to hit in the fairway. And I think his plan was to aim way left and hit it on this other island patch of grass, which I never even knew existed until I looked at this article. And his plan was to hit it all the way left so that he would be able to find land easier and then hit it back to the green. So the tour is like, hell no, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's talent.
Yeah. Some people say it's not talent, but I can tell you when you try to swing as hard as you can and to hit it straight, it's really, really hard. I hit it in the woods a lot. So,
but it's funny because to people who would think that that's not talent, well, obviously he could do it and maybe nobody else can. So he must have some talent to be able to do that. That's sounds like an amazingly creative thing, and obviously something that requires a ton of hitting, strength and a lot of talent.
For sure. And actually, Roy McIlroy just a couple weeks ago, he was being honest in a press conference, and he's one of the best players to ever play the game. Sure. He's like, you know what? I saw what Bryson was doing, and I tried to add swing speed, and it messed up my swing. So it's not easy. You know, a lot of guys are hating on him, but it's like, it's a risk too. I mean, it can change your swing, and it might. Golf's a crazy game. I mean, once you lose confidence, it's tough to get it back. So,
sure.
What he's doing is risky, and it's definitely a skill to have almost 200-mile-an-hour ball speed and hit the ball straight. So
it's edgy. Yeah. What he's doing too. I like it. It's edgy. I think it's good. I think it's pushing the
envelope. Oh yeah,
like
that's what golf needs. I mean, golf doesn't need another straight edge guy hitting it 280. We need more things like more exciting guys, Bryson, to bring more energy for sure.
Sure. Well, now at the Masters, what's your favorite hole at the Masters?
So definitely on the back nine. I mean, a lot of viewers who, a lot of casual viewers are more familiar with the back nine because that's when the real coverage usually starts. So I would say it's tough. There's a lot of good holes, but I love a really good par five.
Okay.
So I would probably say 15.
Right.
It's the second shot on 15 is one of the coolest shots in golf, I think, because there's so much trouble. I mean, if you're short, you're in the water. There's a false front. The ball can roll off the green. And if you go long, there's a huge drop off behind the green, and the grass is cut so short, you have such a difficult pitch coming back up.
Okay.
So I love that hole. And then also I would say hole 12, Amen Corner.
And so I was just gonna bring that up. I was just
Race Creek. It's a short par three, and it's probably a pitching wedge or a 9-iron for these guys, which is it's like a foul shot for these guys.
Sure.
But when the pressure's on, there's a little bit of wind, it can get really dicey. And from 2 years ago when Tiger won, one of the reasons why he won that is because there was like 3 guys who hit in the water.
Okay.
Coming on the final day.
Okay.
And Tiger having experience, he hit it right in the, he aimed left, didn't go for the pin, hit it in the middle of the green, and he went on to win. So
I always hear Jim Nantz's voice talk about Amen Corner.
Oh yeah. I mean, Amen Corner, there's nothing like it in golf. I mean, you get 3 holes in a row, par 4, par 3, par 5.
Right.
You they're all kind of in the same area on the property. If you're a spectator, you can see all three going at the same time. And you can score on 12 and 13. You can make birdies, but you can also make a big number if you mess up.
Okay.
And 11's a really challenging par 4. So it's such a good stretch. I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole event is done in such an immaculate fashion. I mean, everything about it is it's just that it has a certain class and just a dignity to it. It's always fun to watch. I mean, even though, like I said, I'm not an avid golfer like yourself, but just even to watch it is fun because it just seems like it just has everything's handled perfectly. It's executed, and I don't know. I always feel like it's one of those things in life that you look forward to every year, and it's just a privilege, you know.
Oh, 100%. The cliche is it's a their taglines like it's a tradition like unlike any other.
Yes.
And it really is. I mean, I look at Augusta like Hogwarts from Harry Potter. I mean, it's like magical, and
Sure.
it's also impossible to get in. I mean, you have to like win a lottery to get tickets. So,
Sure.
and yeah, I mean, there's something about it. It's just the history there. The course is just always in perfect condition. It looks like it's out of like a Hollywood movie when the TV comes
Sure.
on. I mean,
And the landscape is immaculate.
the landscape's beautiful. I mean, you have so many cool traditions like the champions dinner. So whoever wins last year, they host a dinner and they pick the menu. All the caddies, they wear the white
Right.
bibs. So every caddy's wearing the same thing. It's this cool kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You have a lot of the old guys that come back and play.
Sure.
Because if you win the Masters, you can play there for life until you can't swing anymore, basically.
Right.
So it's cool because sometimes you'll get a guy who's in his 50s or 60s, like Bernhard Langer, I think last year, who makes the cut, and then you're like, where did he come from?
Right.
So it's cool. There's so many cool things that make it an amazing tournament. So
Yeah. So
I love it.
what kind of player does the course favor?
That's a good question. People always say it's experience, right? Because this is the one major where they play the same course every year.
Right.
So it's really having the knowledge of the course of the greens. So usually the guys you see winning the tournament are the guys that have played it for a number of years. There are outliers like Jordan Spieth in 2015. He won pretty young.
Wow, he did.
But he's also a freak of nature, and he's but for the most part it's guys with experience. So I actually have a list of the past winners, and just in the past few years you got Phil Mickelson, Zach Johnson, Angel Cabrera, you got Phil again, Bubba Watson, Adam Scott,
right.
Sergio Garcia, Patrick Reed, Tiger, and then Dustin Johnson last year. And I mean, Dustin Johnson's been one of the best players, and it took him almost a decade to finally get it done. So it's really the guys that have been here. And a lot of the problem is that, like I was saying, the Masters is like such a magical place.
Sure.
A lot of times the first time you get there, you can't even focus on playing golf because you're so blown away of just being.
Can't believe where you are. Yeah.
You can't even believe where you are. So it's tough to focus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say the guys with experience for sure are the guys that do better here.
So which guys this year do you think will benefit from that? Which guys, like you just mentioned a couple, but which guys do you feel will have that benefit this year?
Well, definitely Spieth as a past winner, and I don't know if you know, but he was going through a huge slump.
Yes.
He didn't win for 3 years. So
yes.
I would say the biggest storyline going into this tournament is Spieth, because he just won last week.
Okay, great.
So he broke his 3-year slump with a win going to the Masters, and as a former champion, I mean, it's like kind of perfect timing.
Sure.
So I would say Spieth as one of the younger guys, but he's got the experience. Obviously Dustin Johnson, who won last year.
Sure.
And then I would say an older guy who I think is going to do really well is Sergio.
Okay.
He's been playing pretty good. I think at the Players he almost won until JT knocked him out. But Sergio's been playing good, and he's a veteran, so he's got the experience, and his ball striking is so good. So I would watch out for Sergio as one of those older guys who can get it done.
Awesome. So those would be the 5 guys. If my next question was about if you had to pick 5 guys that had a shot of winning, would those be the guys that you just mentioned there?
Yeah, probably be DJ, Sergio, Spieth. I would pick Patrick Cantley.
Okay.
I don't. If you got any betters out there, Patrick Cantley's he's in the top 10, but
Okay.
he's not a really big name yet. I mean, if you're a big golf guy, you know Patrick Cantley,
Sure.
but
Sure.
most people don't really know the name.
Sure.
But he's a beast. He's like he's like a robot. He's like a machine.
Right.
Really good player. Motion doesn't really show a lot of emotion, and I think the past couple of years he's done pretty well at the Masters. So I think he's going to do pretty well. And then Bryson too. But with Bryson's very hit or miss. I mean, he can rip one out of bounds very easily and make like an 8. So, but he's got so much talent. It's tough to if he's driving it well. I mean, the course is pretty. The par 5s he can eat up. So Bryson's definitely got to be up there too. So those are probably I think that was 5 or 6, but those would be my guys.
Okay. And now, do you have a dark horse for us? Maybe someone that I know you said Cantley there, but do you have another dark horse for us that could rise up and give the fans a little thrill?
Yeah. So yeah, Cantley would be my fake dark horse because he is ranked in like the top 10.
Sure.
But he's kind of still a little under the radar, not like the big name.
Sure.
But a true dark horse, I would say I got 2 guys. I would say Ian Poulter.
Okay.
He's the guy with the crazy pants. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. He used to wear the visor, the spiked hair,
Yep.
all that.
Yep.
So he's been playing pretty good recently. He's got the experience. And I think he had a top 10 or top 20 a year or 2 ago.
Okay.
When the year Tiger won, I think he was right up there until
he
hit it in the infamous Rays Creek on
Yes.
12. So he was one of the victims.
Yes.
So I would say Poulter is a dark horse. I think he's ranked like 40 or 50. So he's kind of middle of the pack. And then a younger guy would be Corey Connors.
Okay.
Casual golfers would definitely not know this name, but he's a really good player, and he's been kind of trending lately.
Right.
So I would watch out for him. So those 2.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to those guys this weekend.
Yeah. So if you want to place any bets, this is some good information coming
in. Well, I think now in New York we're allowed to because I think we have DraftKings. I think is legal now in New York, is it not?
Yeah, we can smoke weed and place bets. So.
So it's what is it about the event that always gets people so pumped up though? I mean, like yourself, like I know you said this is like your favorite week. For me, it's always that first week of March Madness. So but what is it for yourself and other people like you who this is their favorite weekend of the year? Like, what is it that just draws you to it?
Yeah. Well, I would say what we talked about before is just kind of the whole like mystique of the place and all the tradition. It's it's just such a well-run event. I mean, and so all of that, and then aside from all of that, it's the first major of the year.
Yes.
So it really gets people excited. It's really like the start of the peak of golf season. Kicks off the major season. So that's part of it too. Summer starting. I mean, spring starting. So for golfers in the Northeast and a little more up north, golf season's just starting to start. So it's kind of like it's kind of like the start of golf season. So there's just so many things about it that as a golf fan, it's the best tournament in my mind for sure.
I always think of the Masters like I think of Wimbledon because I follow the tennis religiously since I was a little boy. I watched all the majors of tennis. I love it. And I always feel like Wimbledon's like the Masters. I mean, I like the U.S. Open as well, but to me, Wimbledon, because again, it's the beginning of the summer. It's not the first major of the year. It's the third, but it's not the third Grand Slam. I should say it's the third Grand Slam. It's not the first Grand Slam, but it's the one that carries the reverence and the mystique. Also, I feel like Wimbledon for tennis, and I root for my man Roger Federer, and then when I was a kid, I rooted for Boris Becker and Bjorn Borg and people like that. But I always feel like Wimbledon and the Masters both share that mantle of just greatness and so much tradition and the way the event is run and the just the way it's the grounds are kept. It's just I always feel like it's visually exceptional. Like when you see it on
Yeah,
TV, you just can't believe how well cared for it is.
for sure. And I would add one more thing too about what makes it so awesome as a viewer is, like we said, it's the only major that's played at the same course every year.
Sure.
So as a viewer, you're familiar with the holes, right? So one of the coolest things about golf is, you don't play on the same court.
Sure.
It's like either you're playing different courses or even if you play the same course, there's different holes
Sure.
to watch. So as a viewer, to be able to come back every year and, see the same holes, the history, what happened there last year.
Sure.
So as a viewer, that's also what makes it so special, is that familiarity with the course and the holes, especially the back nine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, as a casual fan, I can still hear Jim Nance every time, Amen Corner. And
Yep.
they walk over that little bridge and a different hole there. And like,
Yeah.
it's, and you always see the beautiful flowers. And I always think of like CBS has such a great week because they have the national championship on Monday night and then they're at the Masters on Thursday. And it's amazing when they do that. Like it must be a great week for Jim Nance.
Crazy.
To be able to
Yeah,
go
I was gonna
from-
say Jim Nance. Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't even take pay for that week. I would just do it for free.
I know.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
sign me up.
Yeah, it's some great honor to be a part of those things. But yeah, it always does deliver. And I have to say, I'll be watching, and I'm not even like a guy who golfs every week like you do, but I'll still be watching, and I'll be paying attention to it, and it's something that always keeps your eyeballs to the set around Sunday afternoon, around dinner time. You're always taking a
Yep.
peek,
Uh-huh.
and Saturday you'll be checking out the cut, and looking for that, and it's but this year, unfortunately, like I said, I won't look where Tiger is because I want to see if he's always, I always felt like if he's near the top, we're gonna have a great. I'm hoping that Phil Mickelson gets a good run at it. Is he gonna still have a shot?
He's been a hot mess lately, so who knows what Phil's gonna do? But
Yeah.
again, with the Masters, you never know. I mean, they were just talking about this on the Golf Channel that this course it's less important on the form you have coming in.
Okay.
Because again, it's all about the experience in the course, and
Sure.
sometimes guys will come in with pretty terrible form and they'll play great. So
Right.
so you never know. And Phil says this is like his favorite course,
Really?
favorite event of the year. So
Okay.
so we'll see. But he also could shoot like 85. So who knows?
Now I'm a little partial to guys like Brooks Koepka. Has he got a shot this week or?
If Brooks makes the cut, it'll be a miracle because he just came off of knee surgery.
Oh wow.
So and he's got 2 banged up knees now. So and they said it was going to take months to rehab, and somehow he's playing this week. So
Wow.
he's in pain, and if he makes the cut, it'll be a miracle.
Are these going to be career altering injuries for him? I hope not.
I don't know. It's interesting. A lot of the older guys, they never really got hurt, and now a lot of the young guys like Tiger. Tiger kind of started the trend of swinging really hard and aggressively, and kind of extending the knee really hard.
Sure.
And you see guys, even like a guy like Jason Day and now Brooks, a lot of these guys are getting banged up. So who knows? I hope not, because Brooks is an awesome player, fun to watch. So
yeah.
But
yeah.
the knees are tough. I mean,
sure. Yeah, you don't want to mess with the knee or the back. Isn't that
no? Yeah.
Those are not good things.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on today and talking to us about the Masters. Now you got the 3 other majors this year. I mean, hopefully we can have you back if you're available. And
yeah, I'd love to.
And we're really looking forward to hopefully get good weather this week at Augusta, so we can have an event that basically gets off the ground and doesn't alter the outcome. I like to see just everybody healthy, everybody good weather, and just that way the best golfer wins for the week, and we can have an exciting event. Hopefully we get a close finish down a stretch. That's always fun to do. And I know Sunday, every man in America's eyeballs are pretty much on that TV set.
Yeah, I hope so. And if last year it's kind of a fluke Masters. I mean, it was in November, and the course was playing so soft. Right. So I think DJ set the scoring record last year as like 20 under or something like that.
Wow.
But they're saying this year, I think the guys at Augusta are a little pissed, so they're gonna set it up a little firmer. And if they don't get any rain, watch out, because those greens get dicey. So
Yeah.
it should shape up to be a good tournament for
All
sure.
right. Well, like I said, Webb, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
All
Coach.
right.
Good to see you.
Take care.